Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Shuyang Wu from Apache APISIX community, and it's my honor to share with you how do we deploy Chaos Mesh on Apache APISIX. First, let me introduce myself a bit. I'm a committer from Apache APISIX, and I'm currently interning at API 7, the commercial company behind Apache APISIX. And thankfully, I'm also a committer from Chaos Mesh. I graduated from CNCF Community Bridge. I think it caught LFX right now, last fall. So during which time I contribute some to ChaosCTL, a command line tool to help maintainers to better do the debugging for reproducing help requests. And also I'll be enrolled in GitHub next month. Yep. Finally, after this year of pandemic. That's about me. And then since everyone get to know already familiar with Chaos Mesh, I'll try to introduce you a bit about APISIX. So basically, APISIX is a API gateway for you who don't know what's it about. It's just like gateway between clients and your services, like the left of this graph shows. So it will do basic proxying or routing from the clients to your service to manage all your traffic. So what's more, it would include all the common needs like authentication or rate limiting, security checking, or observability like Skywalking or Prometheus. So you don't need to implement them separately on each of your services. And thanks to OpenResty, compared to Nginx, we could dynamically change the configuration. So yeah, it will be better. And to achieve those functions, we currently support 50 plus plugins. And yeah, that's for API 6. And as you see, it's not very complicated systems compared to like TidyV or RabbitMQ, who shared their experience with Chaos Mesh before on the meeting. But we still met with some problems that cannot be covered by like our common unit tests or E2E tests. Yeah, like this bug from the community. So yeah, and since I've been working on Chaos Mesh for some time, at that time, I can know I could like reproduce it with podkill. And as you see, like APISIX is highly dependent on etcd, since etcd is APISIX major configuration center, and APISIX itself is stateless, but it achieves its high accessibility with etcd. So we need to make sure everything works correct with etcd. If it's working not so correct, we need to make sure APISIX would get over it. And another reason we import Chaos Mesh in is, like I talked before, we have 50 plus plugins. So most of them rely on some other components like like I showed before, Prometheus or like Kafka. So more components import more uncertainty. We need to make sure if someplace break, the whole system could keep the same, or at least report some useful errors. Everyone's still here with me?
Yep.
Please go on.
And yep. So there are actually three steps about how we deploy in Chaos Mesh to do the tests. Like for me, like the first step is to, of course, the most urgent step is to find the bug we received from the community. When we're reproducing bugs, we'll take good use of Chaos Mesh dashboard, thanks for it, and Grafana to see if something goes wrong clearly. And when we find them, we'll try to find the appropriate Prometheus metrics and ready to test files. Also, thanks to CRD, Chaos Mesh provided, we could smoothly integrate it into our tests without creating a bunch of YAMLs. And yeah, I think maybe Cloud told me that. Thank you. So yeah, that's the first step. Yeah, I will not go to details. So I guess everyone already familiar with it. And second step, yeah, is to testing all those external components and plugins. So like normally we will test if APISIX could work correctly or report correct errors when injecting pod chaos or network chaos. I think that's most common. And say before or after we enable certain plugins. If we find bugs and think there is needs to make sure it won't happen again, we'll keep it and add it to test cases and test it in CI. Yeah. So till now, it basically what we are trying to do is we think some places are vulnerable, no matter the bug already find it, or we're trying to find some errors between plugins and APISIX itself. We're still doing all the manual jobs. Yeah, it's pretty good not worrying about like the explosion radius, which already often be talking about chaos engineering, since we are not in the production environment. But also we cannot to get the complexity of that real environment to cover more scenarios. But it's still hard for us to build some environment who could simulate production environment pretty good. So what we are trying to do is trying to integrate Chaos Mesh with our own E2E test. Like E2E test is something most familiar with the real environment, I think. So with it, we'll try to see if when we add some common chaos, we'll try to find if there are something unexpected happen. Yeah, that's yeah, it's like some random shoots, but I guess it could works somehow, or I hope. Yeah. And I think that's it. That's all my sharing. And thank you, Chaos Mesh community for developing this brilliant tools. It's so cool and so convenient to use it, and it's also so good to be part of it. Thank you.
And thanks, Shuyang, for the wonderful sharing and the recognition from you. And I think that's why we're doing this. It's our ultimate goal and motivation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to start my own video. I just realized.
Great. Okay. Sorry. Does anybody has any question about Shuyang's sharing?
I have a little question, but it's not related to the Chaos Mesh. It's only about the APISIX. I see you told us there are many plugins in APISIX, and does all of these plugins are implemented with Lua, or we can write the scripts. We can write the plugin without the with any language.
Like currently we are developing plugins which could write in Java and Go. I think like the first version is already released. It's early, but we could get used to. Yeah.
I got it. And another thing is, I see here is a picture as the first step of your use the Chaos Mesh. How do you draw it, or what tool you are using for that?
I can't remember the name for now. It's like skeleton or let me check. It's open source. Oh, it's Excalibur. Yeah, it's pretty good. You should give it a try.
Well, how to pronounce it?
Could you
type it to the, how? EX.
CALIDRAW.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
More question.
Yeah. No worry. Yeah.
Great. We learned something new other than Chaos Mesh and APISIX. Great. Okay. So if there are no further questions, we will come to the next part, which is to be provided by Zhiqiang Zhou on the technical updates for Chaos Mesh. Zhiqiang, please.
Okay, I will share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Wait for a minute. Okay, could you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I will open my camera. Okay, hello. I am Zhou Zhiqiang, and I am the Chaos Mesh committer, and I'm going to share the Chaos Mesh technical updates for you. The first part is the new features and enhancements. The first enhancement is on Chaos dashboard. It could resolve direct route now. It relates an issue that using a reverse proxy before user use reverse proxy to expose Chaos Mesh. It cannot resolve the correct URL path. It relates to several issues on the upstream web library GoJin, and thanks to our committer Yang Yue, he fixed that issue on the upstream. After that, you could easily expose Chaos dashboard after a reverse proxy server with any prefix as a URL path. And there are several improvements on user experience on the Chaos dashboard. And Chaos D, here is Chaos D, and Chaos D supports one more types of chaos. It could simulate port is already allocated. For example, you want to your engines want to listen on 18, but the 18 is already taken on by other process. Chaos D could simulate this situation, and Chaos D could use customized bytemy rule file to inject the JVM chaos. At last, Chaos Mesh could integrate with Delve now. Delve is a well-known debugger for Go programming language, and debugging on Kubernetes controller is always be a problem. We provide this way to run Delve with the Chaos Mesh. It's very helpful at debugging and developing. Thanks, Carl. Next part is version released. Here is a bug fix version 1.2.2. Which contains several bug fixes with Kubernetes compatibility and error handler with ptrace. Also an enhancement feature to filtering packet with TCP flags. Then we released the Chaos D. Chaos D we'll talk about it later. We have already released the Chaos D version 1.0.0, and the latest version is 1.0.1. Chaos D is a tool that could inject chaos on physical machines. It provides writer fault types, for example, the JVM attacks and support for the port occupation and the DNS fault injection and other network attack. Chaos D is an important component on our roadmap. We will talk about it later. And the latest version of Chaos Mesh version 2 is beta 3. Each version keeps about 2 weeks, and we will see the new features and changes is nearly stable at the beta 3. So Chaos Mesh version 2 GA is on the way. We probably release it in next several days, most probably tomorrow. We could see the milestone on GitHub is finished. It has accomplished now. We will release it very soon. Next part is upcoming plans. Let's take a peek of the future of Chaos Mesh. There are several technical points that you might interested in. First is chaos on non-Kubernetes. Chaos Mesh is a cloud-native chaos engineering platform. It was and it should be always be. But why do we want to make chaos on non-Kubernetes environment? Here is an example scenario. One growing company is working on migration from the water machine stack to the Kubernetes stack. A part of its service is running on the Kubernetes, but a tons of service are still running on the VM or a physical machine. The migration is always complex and unstable. So I think chaos engineering will help the progress of the migration. So it's a very important scenario. And let's talk a little talk about the structure of non-Kubernetes. It's released the Chaos D. Chaos D will be the bridge between the Chaos controller manager and the physical machine. It runs on each physical machine, like Chaos daemon runs on each Kubernetes work node. Both Kubernetes chaos and physical machine chaos should be controlled in Chaos controller manager. So the schedule and the workflow could be reused. And as a last, we think this structure could also fit for the multi-cluster Kubernetes. I think we will write another RFC for that. The next one is more and better chaos. We have tried to inject chaos with a kernel module. For example, IO chaos implementation with a kernel module could be more accurate and more efficient. And it's also a way to inject chaos into the native programming language like C. It's almost like the JVM chaos could modify the JVM bytecodes, but we're still working on that. The proof of concept is not finished yet. And the next is we have a useful tools called RST proxy. It could make a transparent proxy based on the IP tables. It is used to implement the HTTP chaos. Actually, it could hijack the TCP any TCP connection and works with a HTTP parser. So what we need is another parser like gRPC parser. Then we could build the gRPC chaos. Yeah. And the next is the runtime injection of JVM chaos. Now JVM chaos works based on a mutation webhook. It changes the definition of the pod. Attach an initial container into the pod and load the Java agent. We do that for only bypassing the JVM security policies. For example, here is a Docker image called Bitnami Zookeeper. It restricts something that the JVM cannot do. For example, it cannot read some file from some path, so it could not load the Java agent, the Java file. So runtime injection could not work on that image, but for most situations, there are not so many restricted on the JVM security policy. So runtime injection, JVM injection could be more convenient on other image, and we will going to do that. Next, the last part is plugin mechanism. So that's why I asked Shuyang, because in my memory, APISIX is writing Lua, and I'm sure it's APISIX is a plugin for engines, and there are many many other plugins for APISIX. So I think we could learn something from APISIX for how to build our plugin framework. Yeah, so actually we want to build a framework or some SDK thing to help developers to build its own chaos. A few months ago, our friends to share the usage on of Chaos Mesh on APISIX, RabbitMQ, and Linkerd. All of them have one good happiness. Could Chaos Mesh support something like APISIX chaos, RabbitMQ chaos, or Linkerd chaos? Same situation. I think same situation could happen on all those other middleware application. Yeah, I really want to say yes right now, but the cost of developing a new chaos is very expensive. Yeah, actually, there are several parts of developing a new chaos. For example, one part is write the correct Kubernetes controller. You should follow the Kubernetes part. Then the other is to definition your chaos, what the chaos want to do, and you might write some agent works on each node and to execute the actual operation. So so if we want to write a RabbitMQ chaos or APISIX chaos, we should learn about that middleware application and then write the other component. So it's take a lot of time, but but the maintainer of other project might not so familiar with Kubernetes part and Kubernetes concept. So it's not so easy. But what we want to do, one thing that any developers want to make the abstracting that and decoupling them. So you do not need to write Kubernetes controller anymore. Chaos Mesh will help you to control the reconciliation of that chaos, and you only need to focus on the injection and the recover methods. And based on Kubernetes, these plugins could be installed into the Kubernetes and exposed as Kubernetes service. Chaos Mesh loads them with the service discovery, and then they communicating with HTTP or something protocol or like gIPC. So Chaos Mesh will be a platform of various Chaos plugin. Yeah, the same way could be applied on any middleware application, and we also want to cooperate with other community of this middleware application and build the stable chaos injection by its origin maintainer. Yeah. And here is a little relation between the plugin mechanism and the chaos on non-Kubernetes. The last one could be an plugin implemented by the former one. Yeah, just is non-Kubernetes chaos as a plugin. It's just an image. Yeah. We also think all the chaos should be the plugin, include all the origin implemented chaos as the final phase of the chaos mesh. Okay, that's all. If anybody interested in these topics, feel free to open an issue or discussion on the GitHub or send it to the Slack channel. Yes, thanks.
Yeah,
I will stop my sharing.
Sure. Thanks, Shuyang. And maybe we can look forward to another deep dive talk into this plugin mechanism of Chaos Mesh in the future.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anybody with questions for Zhixiang's sharing? Okay. Then I will come to my part, which is the updates from the perspective of community. Okay. Firstly and foremost, we joined CNCF in July last year, and it's exactly 1 year's time from now. And we in this 1 year and the CNCF, we have seen huge growth, both in terms of community and the project itself. So we've been preparing really actively during the past 2 months for the incubating stage in the CNCF, and gladly we made some big progresses recently. For example, we created the PR to propose Chaos Mesh as a incubation project, and we presented to tech networking, and to which Chaos Mesh belongs to last week, and it went great. And we submitted our annual review for Chaos Mesh, which is under review of the CNCF TLC. If you're interested in any of these proposals and slides, you can check them out, and you can show your support just by like giving us thumb ups and other emojis. or you can, leave any comment if you want. That would be very helpful. Okay, this is the incubation. And then another good news is we have two adopters for joining us in the adoption lineup. Firstly, we have ByteDance. They have recently integrated Chaos Mesh in their underlying Chaos engineering and platform. I think everybody knows about ByteDance. And then we have SJ Distributors, which is a food distribution company. They're using Chaos Mesh in their environment too. It's really great to see. And because, yeah, just as I mentioned to Shuyang, the adoption is our ultimate goal of making Chaos Mesh. So if you are a Chaos Mesh adopter, or if you know somebody or some companies are using Chaos Mesh, just feel free to let us know and share the adoption with us. Okay, from the community side, we have continuously seeing new contributions of content from the community. For example, we have this Chaos Mesh QA, which is actually a summary of frequently asked questions that we gathered from the KubeCon office hour session in last month. Sorry, I think it's in May, and this one came a little late. And we have the contribution from our old friend Anurag Paliva, and we also have the graduate from the LFX mentoring program, Deborah. Yeah, and yeah, there's something actually happening very soon. Actually, this weekend, we have a DevCon happening in 2 days' time. DevCon, for those if you do not know about it, it's the biggest flagship kind of event for developers of TiDB, TiKV, and Chaos Mesh. So we had three talks for Chaos Mesh. Firstly, is from Sergio Mendes, who actually presented to us in our last monthly meeting, I think. And then we have Chen our Chaos Mesh maintainer, to share with us the story of Chaos Mesh to build a chaos engineering ecology. And then we have Maxwell Miao from Netstar, a Japanese mobile payment company, on how they use Chaos Mesh in their microservice. Yeah, it's really great to see these contents coming out. Last but not least, it's really amazing to see so many new contributors joining in the Chaos Mesh contributing community and make their contributions. And yeah, I cannot say how much thankful I am to see this. And yeah, big shout out. Yeah, that's all of the sharing from the community side. You have any questions? Okay, if not, I think that's all of our sessions for today. If you have your topics to share on this community meeting, just add it here on these meeting notes. And if you haven't joined us yet, you can find us and become a member of us via these channels on Slack, and follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, that's all of the meeting for today. We will upload the recording later to YouTube. Okay. Okay, thank you for all your attending, and especially for Shuyang sharing.
Bye bye.